Well, we have now reached the penultimate episode of Willow, and what will they do this episode? Will they actually do something, achieve something, or will they do nothing more than waste time when they don't need to? That would be the latter. They waste an entire episode of 55 minutes. They have a character at the start of the episode say, we need to do this if we want to get there. They do something else other than what the guy just said, and then at the end of the episode, they go, oh, well, he said at the start, we just do this. And you're just like, you're at the very end of the episode, and you've only just clicked on to what was said. You've only just went, oh yeah, we should have done what he said. You waited till about 50 minutes into the episode for that. You're wasting time when you don't need to. I don't get it. I don't know why you need to make the episode that long. I don't get it. So as you can imagine, I don't have many notes really. A couple of pages. Other than that, very, very little happens. It's as I say, they just waste time. They just wasted. They wasted 55 minutes and didn't really achieve anything in those 55 minutes other than a bunch of dumb shit and just a load of stuff where, oh, this person can do this now then, I guess. You know, that's sort of what it is. But what did we finish on? On episode 6, we had, what was her face? We had Kit drowning. You know, I couldn't find anything within myself to give a fuck about that. Because she was a massive bitch at the end of episode 6. Where she just started making everything about herself delusional. The only difference with this episode, though, we have another character that has been added that is definitely a match for Kit. She's worse than Kit. Although we have certain revelations and there's certain things where I'm like, they're not gonna do a certain thing I think they are that reminds me of episode 5. You know, with the crone. I don't know if they're gonna do something in particular with the crone. But I'm kind of like, well, we've already had that happen. Would we really be surprised to see another thing happen? I don't know. We'll see. But let's just get into this shite. Get it over with. Because I'm recording this a bit too late. And I wanted to do another video. Unfortunately, Willow's got in the fucking way of that. So thanks, Disney. So let's just get in there. So we start off. Yeah, because on the last episode, it ended with Eric looking in a cell. And this woman was here. And she is the person that is a bigger bitch than Kit is. Worse than Kit. Especially with the first 5 minutes. It takes us about, I don't, 50 seconds. And you're like, yeah, fuck this woman. You know, they wrote her this way. I didn't. It's not my problem. So we start off and they're like talking. He's like, and then he basically tells her, yeah, I'm the prince of Terrazline, and she's like a bit of an ignorant bitch. It was fine for her to say who she was and where she was from, but as soon as he spoke up, she had like a big issue with it. And she went into this big rant that I wrote down the whole thing of, because I'm just like, what are you going for here? I don't know if you want us to hate her. I don't know. But so he says, I'm the prince of Terrazline. And then she starts like making up this whole story about what he wants. It's like, you've just fucking met him. You don't know who he is. You know, she says like, oh, Prince McSleazoid or something. I'm like, you don't even know him. You don't even know him. So why you're like, oh, you're a sleazeball. That's what you say to someone when you first meet them. You just say sleazeball. What? So, yeah, she doesn't know him. So she comes up with all that stuff. And then she's like, if we can just get to it. She starts just going on this big fucking rant. Alright, where is she? Yeah, so then, yeah, she goes on to, I'm not a palace ditz, gonna go all quivery just because you bat your eyes at me. And then he's like, no, I didn't mean it. Like, all he said was, oh, I'm the Prince of Terrazline. And she's going off on this thing, I'm not going to quiver at the legs for you. It's like, I don't know why you just assuming that. Why are you assuming that? And then she goes on to, you know, what? You thought that I'd be the damsel in distress in your sicko fantasy. It's like, well, you were a damsel in distress. You were in a cell, and he got you out of that cell. So, you know, fucking hell. So it's just, you know, it's just the Disney special again. And then she goes on to, oh, what? You thought we'd have a little witty banter, innuendo or two, and see if I'm game. Then you'll confess an insecurity to me, and I'll go, hey, he's got depth. Before we know it, we're rolling in the hay. It's like, you just made that up. You made that entire scenario up. You delusional. Absolutely delusional. And I don't, from the revelations we get later on, I don't know why she's saying this. I don't know why this is like convincing anyone to do anything. Like talking this way. Is it just, oh, just throw some shit like this in here? Is that all it's there for? Because it's just like, she just made a load of shit up. That's all she done. She just made a load of shit up. And then she's like, oh, the only thing I'm interested in is getting out of here. So why the fuck did you waste all that time spouting shite? If you're just interested in getting out of here. If someone was interested in just getting out of where they were, that is what they would focus on. They won't go on, oh, I'm not going to shag you. He just told you who he was. That's all he done. And you made something up about like this fake scenario. So yeah, just you know, more waste of time. You know, the usual Disney Plus material, I suppose. But again, it doesn't really make sense why. Just because of the revelations later, why she would even do this. It's like, this isn't getting him on your side, is it? So I imagine right here, he's thinking, maybe I should have left her in the fucking cell. That would have been a better idea than putting up with bullshit from this woman I just met. Who does this when they meet someone for the first time? Who speaks to someone like this? I don't know. You know, even if you're like, you know, I don't really like the look of this person, you don't go in there guns a-blazing going, you fucking prick. Who's doing that? Nobody. But a lot of this, again, don't make any sense. So then he's like, I'm Eric. And she's like, I couldn't care less. Really, you got to work together to get out of here. Would you not want to? And again, you're not going to convince him of anything later on in the episode with this attitude. So why do you have it? Why do you have the attitude? Again, that's why I just think it's, oh, let's just throw this bullshit in here about toxic men. Is that all there is to it? I think that's all there is to it. So, like, he tells her about, like, I've tried to escape, like, you know, when he went off the previous episode and it brought him back to the same place. And he's like, I walked for days or weeks. No, and, you know, we go to our amazing fellowship later on, and they say like the same sort of stuff, whereas, oh, we've been going for weeks or months. It's like, why does no one understand fucking time in this universe? Days or weeks. It's like, it's clear that Eric has been in this place for what feels like decades. He's been in there at least a few months, it feels like. I don't know why he isn't dead yet. He only just started drinking water in the previous episode. The water behind him that clearly looks like there's something in it. So I'm like, so he went off the previous episode to try and escape with no water, no food for, as he put it, days or weeks, yet he's still alive. I guess people don't die of hunger or thirst. No, I guess that isn't a thing. But, you know, even without the whole leaving part, it's like he should be dead already because the amount of pissing about that Kit and all those twats have been doing. So he should be dead already. I don't know why he's still here. Just like weeks on end or months. We don't fucking know because nobody knows the time. Nobody ever knows the time. It's like you must be able to tell the difference between days and weeks. You must be able to go, yeah, it was about a week. Instead of, oh, it was days or weeks. It's like, fucking hell, narrow it down a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much this part of the episode. So we'll come back to them. Yeah, he sees like Kit in this little water thing, and then, yeah, she says later, "I seen him in the pool." So now we're like back to this stuff. We get a bit, we go back to Eric and that twat waffle. Later on in the episode, they've barely had Eric in the entire season, which is a mistake. It's like, you've got a character there, do something with him, but instead he just lies around. You know, what good is that? To go, oh, episode 7, right, now let's start doing stuff with Eric, where he just says stuff about himself where we haven't seen the why. You know, why do you love Alora? All that sort of shit. They could have spent time on that, you know, built it up, then it'd be a lot better, wouldn't it? A lot more interesting. So now she's saving Kit again. Just let her drown after that shit from episode 6. And she's doing it again with magic she knows fuck all about. Yet, you know, when the plot needs it, she knows all the spells in the book. Yet when we can't have her just do that, she forgets it all. It's like she's barely, but hasn't even been trained, really. She's read a couple of books. And I question how far she's actually got into these books. We actually get a training montage this episode. But we'll get to that soon enough. So they bring her out and then they escape the mountain. And now they're already out here, down by the sea. So he looks back. You know, Borman's now got that thing that you shove into your armor and it protects you against darkness. Don't know what that is. They haven't specified. And he's like, oh no, I need to save it for a time when you have to charge people or something like that. It's like, just see if it works. Don't know why you're pissing about. So there's that. And then, so now they're at the Shattered Sea. So this is the Shattered Sea is what they have to cross to get to the city that Eric is in. So you have Willow saying, you know, I think they're like, how are we going to get across here? And Willow's like, we have to walk across. That's the test. So they already know what they have to do. And this is what I was talking about, where they waste a whole bunch of time when they could have just fucking walked across it, and it save them a load of time. Because it's clearly a test for it to accept your entry into the place. So you would think, well, we got to walk. If that's the test, we must walk. But no, they don't do that. Instead, they're going to have a little rest because there's somehow some little shack on this area where nothing is around. So they're going to look for somewhere to stay. Kit wants to carry on going. She falls over. And then, yeah, there's just this shack, apparently, at the edge of the Shattered Sea. I'm hoping they didn't walk out in the Shattered Sea. Just hoping they would somehow come upon a shack. Like, right there. So they come in here to get some snacks and stuff. There's a guy that looks dead in the chair, but he isn't. He wakes up. He's like, oh, you're a figment of my imagination. Or maybe I'm a figment of your imagination. You know, it's funny that nothing matters. Nothing matters. And then he starts asking for coin. So I thought nothing mattered. Now you're like, give me some money. Why? Nothing matters. So it's just some old guy, you know, don't know who he is. And then there's some creature, you know, we meet him later. It's like a mud summon. But yeah, they've got this sleigh here. And Alora, they're talking about, could we buy it off you to take it further out? And I'm like, well, Willow's already said the test is to walk across. That is the test. So I don't know why you're talking about buying this sleigh, when the test is to walk over the fucking Shattered Sea to get to where you need to go. But of course, that's what they end up taking anyway. So they have a meal. I don't think much happens here. He tells like a story because he fought for some other kingdom, and he went looking for the princess. All him and his men went out into the Shattered Sea until they eventually turned on each other and murdered each other, or something like that. Then he goes to tell a story, and then he stops himself, and then he's clearly hiding something. So we can skip most of this anyway. So then we go back to Eric, and this thing's closed now. He's looking for, forget her name, I don't know, some bitch. And she's standing, so this is like the area where you had in one episode, it was the crone saying, "Join me," or "Join us." So it's, and like that girl's trying to convince him to go down that passageway. So that's when it becomes pretty obvious, oh, you're something to do with the crone. You either are the crone, or you're its helper. I can't say. But it becomes obvious she's trying to convince him to go down into this, where it's like you already know. So that's where it comes across like, oh, you're not really who you say you are. But then why would you go on like a complete twat at the start of the episode if your whole goal is to convince Eric to throw in with you? Doesn't make any sense why you would do that at the start of the episode. But whatever, so he's like, do whatever you want. I don't know why he didn't push her. That's what you should have done. So yeah, he's like, nah, just don't go in there. Then he has a drink. Do we really? I don't know if we get anything in this. Let me see. No, yeah, I did write down a piece of dialogue because it's still pissing me off that they had Eric say, "Where you at?" I'm like, I thought we were in a medieval period. Now we're saying things like, "Where you at?" It's been like that the entire season, and it's just stop it. I don't know why you've got people talking like that in this time period. It makes no fucking sense. But that's what they keep doing. So she tells us, it turns out she's actually a princess, or so she says. She talks about there was some ancient blood magic group that brought me here or something like that. So yeah, she's like, I woke up here. So he's like, you treated me like shit when I told you I was the prince. And then, yeah, what did she say? Let me see. Yeah, she says, oh, well, you were snotty about it. But no, he wasn't. He just told you who he was. And then she's like mimicking, saying, I'm the Prince of Tirazleen. Want to scrub some laundry on my abs? I'm like, no, you made that part up. You made that part up. Why are you still doing this? You're trying to convince him of something. You're trying to convince him to do something, and you're still going on like a complete prick. Gets even worse later. It's like she completely contradicts her entire speech at the start of the episode. So Kit's like because apparently they've now got a beef for some reason, because she's jealous of Allura. So they kind of play up that. So then at the end of the episode, it seems like we've done something, even though not really. So they're like, we'll go, and this guy's like, nah, you better stay another day. And Borman kind of agrees. He's like, nah, let's stay another day. Kit's like, oh, that's fine, we don't need you. Of course you don't. We don't need you. So, yeah, Graydon knocks the old guy out, and it turns out to be that thing there. I guess it's a shapeshifter. I guess it is. It seems to come out of this. So then they blast out of this place on this fucking sleigh. So, it's fine for now. They're trying to get away, but you may want to walk across the place. That would get you there quicker, because it's meant to be a test. They're testing your resolve or whatever it is. So they're now being chased out of here. Borman comes out and shoots a harpoon without even aiming. He's looking over that way. What the fuck are you doing? He just comes out and goes, oh, harpoon, and shoots it off. Doesn't even look because there's a bird in the sky. Like a big whatever it is. And it's like, look what you're fucking doing. Why are you just firing it off without looking? I don't know. He's a fucking moron. Just like everybody else. You know, it's Disney where every character's a fucking moron. So they're trying to get away. Yeah, that. So you know, Borman and that fight this thing. And yeah, we'll have to look at this because somehow out of nowhere, Graydon can now do spells. He can do spells out of his flute. How did he do that? And how did he do it with a flute? I don't know. I don't know how he can do that. You know, first of all, he already knows, he already assumes he doesn't have any magic in him. So what would make him do that in the first place? Why would he get the idea of just going, maybe I'll try a spell with my flute? I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what it is. I don't know why he would think that. You know, if he's already under the assumption he doesn't have magical abilities, I don't know what would make him go, oh, Avagabada with a fucking flute. I don't know why he would try it, but it's fine anyway, because magic shoots out of it. Fucking, just randomly. Oh, he's got magic now. You know, let me guess, they've only done that because we need something to happen in maybe the last episode. Maybe that's the reason why they've now given him magic out of fucking nowhere. Just because he thought, I know, Avagabada with my flute. Fucking unbelievable. So he's now got magic out of nowhere. Unbelievable. And it's like, well, no, you need a wand to do that, don't you? Why is it working with a flute? Honestly, the epitome of just dumbassery this show is. So she goes to you know, rather than use her wand like you would use a wand, she goes to like hit him with the wand or like stab him. It's like, no, it's a wand. Use the magic. I'll see if we can go through it because I'm just like, why did you do that? So yeah, it's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Why? So she didn't say a spell or anything, so I can only theorize you were trying to, poke him in the chin with your wand, rather than saying a spell. And for some reason, her hair's gone ginger. I don't know why. It was blonde the entire time. Now it's gone ginger. I don't know why that is. So, yeah, and then, it touches her, and then it must be, I guess, some sort of... Is it the crone? I guess it is. They managed to knock him off. And they're now continuing on. She got one of these in her arm. So they pull that out. So yeah, but we're still going on this sleigh, even though you already know that the test is to walk across the shattered sea to get to where you need to go. Willow said specifically, it's a test, and now you're just going, nah, it's fine, we're on the sleigh. It's like, well, no, if it's testing you, I don't think it wants you to sit on your ass on a sleigh. But that's what they do. So they're going to waste our time. So then they just so happen to come across this, bit of sand out the water, whatever. So this is like the creature, the mud flapper, something like that. So it's the thing that is taking the sleigh about in this water. That's like not even deep water. So I don't know how they're doing it. It's not deep water, so that thing should be sticking out the water every time they go to ride. So, yeah, then Willow's like, oh, you have the magic inside you. Whatever. So he's just got magic out the blue. Because he thought, I know, let's say a spell, even though I think I'm not, even though I know I'm not magic. So now we're going to get training where Willow and Allura blast at each other for a while. She's like, why you gotta be so mean? So I thought Willow said he had like a limit on his magic. I thought he said he couldn't do it a lot because he was limited with his magic. You know, apparently you run out of batteries. And it's like all these times in this series where Willow could have been useful, he wasn't, because apparently his powers were limited. He only had a certain amount for some reason. Yet now he's got all he needs for all this training. Right, that's how that works then. Okay. So they're just doing all this magic, and then we just sort of, then they go and fight. What's it, Kit and Jade? They go and do some training. She's like, "Don't go easy on me this time." So now they're fighting. So we just get a big long montage. Then now Graydon's training with magic. He just got out of thin air, using a flute, a thing that isn't a wand. So yeah, this just goes on for a while. They have a fight, and then she's like, "You fight dirty," and then they fall on the floor and kiss. So amazing and stunning. So amazing. So then, you know, he's like, "Oh, do you want to defeat the crone or not?" And then she hits him with some spell, because that thing, when it tells her a spell. It tells her what spell to do. I don't know what it is. I guess it's some sort of dark magic. And then she almost kills Willow, the fucking stupid twat. She almost killed Willow because someone told her a spell right there and then, and she thought, yeah, let's just use it. Without asking what it does. You know, for all you know, it could have been a kill shot. But you just done it anyway. So, you know, some of them are like, "Oh, let's turn back," and all that. I don't think much happens, really. For the rest of the episode, there's honestly not that much. We've already went over Willow's magic was originally limited. Now he has no limit. You know, he could have used that in many situations. Why didn't he use it when the Gales ambushed them? Why didn't he use all those spells then? He used a flamethrower instead, rather than a spell. I don't fucking know. I don't know they've forgotten. That's all I can come up with. They've forgotten what they've set. What limits have been set. So yes, not much happens in this scene. So now we're back to Eric and the bitch. And she's from Kashmir. And then she starts going into a speech that can basically be summed up into the patriarchy again. Wow, we haven't had enough of this already. So yeah, it's all about, oh, I want to live somewhere where I don't have to live by rules. You know, like the rest of us live by rules, but no, she doesn't want to do that. She wants to do what she wants. She wants to be able to say, you know, what she thinks and fucking all that shit. But yeah, basically just not live by rules and stuff like that. Because she's a woman. You know, that's all it comes down to. That is all it's come down. So it's basically, oh, the patriarchy held me back. You know, Eric's like, you don't have to do what's expected of you. And then she's like, you don't do what's expected of you. And he's like, nothing's expected of me. He's just like, I just want to go and marry Alora because I love her. When was that established? You know, you clearly wanted in her pants in episode 1. Then in the same episode, you proposed to her, the muffin girl, because apparently his mum would let her marry her. I don't know what he loves about her. We haven't seen any of it. See if you actually took your time to build up relationships between characters. Then you can get people to give a fuck. And then you can get it seem like, yeah, he loves Alora. But I don't get any of this. We haven't seen any of this. It's all just, you know, I'm just going to say it. So after saying all that, she turns into Homewrecker. She's like, I want to do and then she like kisses him. Well, that's clearly rape. Apparently, if you ask some people, she kissed him. Kissed him without his consent? What the fuck is going on? I don't. But all that shit at the start, I'm just like, so that whole speech, you just contradicted yourself now. That's all you've done. And then he's like, stop. I really love Alora, and I have to get her back. And she's like, you don't know what. Yeah, no. Then it turns out that she's been in this place before him, like the place they're at now. She was there before him. She's been there for a long time. I hid from you because I've made mistakes. And then she starts talking about, you don't understand the difference between light and dark. You don't know about the difference between good and evil. So I guess this is supposed to be the crone. You know, taking some sort of form. That's the only thing unless she's just working for the crone. I don't know. So that's why my question is going to be, we're not going to do the crone is actually good. That's not the road we're going down, is it? No, just with a line, all the good and evil. You don't understand what good and evil actually is. No, I've got a basic understanding of it. I think everybody does. So I hope that's not the way they've gone. They already done it with the Bone Reavers, so why the fuck not the crone? Why not just make her out to be, actually, she's just misunderstood? Why not just do... Are they going to do that? I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So he's like, no, I ain't going to join you, and he runs off. He runs off until he comes back later and joins her. For reasons. So they're talking about, oh, I heard my dad at that thing. And then he's like, oh, I heard my daughter. Yeah, he gets sort of vision of his daughter saying, "Da, we need you. We need you," even though she sent him off in the first place. So it's just some vision. He's sitting with this mud flapper, whatever it is. They're talking, and he's like, "Can I be alone with him a bit?" Because he's going to let it go. He's going to let it go, so then they have to walk, rather than just have them walking in the first place, because that was the fucking test. I don't even know what they've been eating or drinking. Because, yeah, this is like the conversation where you now have Kit saying, oh, it feels like weeks or months. So you're dead then. Is that what you should be dead? Is that what you're trying to tell me? It's like because they've clearly ran out of food. They've clearly, they've only got salt water. Unless they're boiling it. I don't know. So he's like thinking about his daughter. So this episode, I don't know if it's green screens or they're using the volume, but either way, it looks fucking shit. It's like it clearly looks fake as fuck. It's like I can see the corner of the room. I can see it clearly, like that. The floor goes there, and that's the wall. You can see it with that line there. So that's just horrible to look at. Doesn't look good. It just looks like you're in a room. That's all it looks like. So yeah, they like make up. Oh, I've, whatever. I don't even give a fuck. I don't even give a shit. But yeah, it's there's not much is said really. Alora's just apologizing, and then Kit starts saying, "I was jealous of you" and all that. So that goes on for a bit. We can skip that. So then Borman finally tries this thing that apparently protects you against darkness. Still don't know what that is. And I'm like, that's not really a good... Why does it stick out like that anyway? That's not really a good design, is it? Someone could just cut that off. So I don't know. You can clearly see that this armor is foam. It's like just foam armor. It's like so obvious. So then Willow starts seeing visions of his daughter. She talks about Saurus. The other short guy that originally went with them that died. Silas. He came home. And we let him in. And he's like, Silas is dead. And then she turns around and her face is all like fucked up. So, yeah, then they find out that Graydon... I keep doing that. Then they find out that Graydon let that thing go. So now they've got, now they got a walk that you had to do in the first place. So, yeah, this is when... Fucking hell. This is when Allura then goes, oh, we've got to walk across it. Like Willow said, it's like, yeah, that was fucking ages ago. And you've only just clicked onto, yeah, the test is to walk across it. So you've just wasted an entire episode when you didn't have to. You could have escaped those things and then went, right, now we've got to do the test. Now we must walk across the shattered sea. But instead you waited till the very end of the episode and now you're like, oh, we've got to walk across. That's the test. You already had this information. You've wasted everybody's fucking time. Just for, I don't, are they just looking for minutes watched or something? Is that all they're looking for? Seems like it. Because we didn't need a 55-minute episode. So then, like, Eric, because Eric went off and then he turned back up at the place again. Like, he already knew he would. I don't know why he went off again. And then he comes in and he decides to join, who I guess is the Crone. So he's joined the dark side because his sister was too busy pissing about to be bothered to actually come and save him. So he's now turned to the dark side. So they're walking across here. They're walking and walking and talking and talking. Don't give a fuck. Doesn't really matter, what they're talking about anymore. It's just dull bullshit. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It's just... Then he goes, oh, it's funny. Who would have thought Allura Dannon would have made me the man I always wanted to be? She didn't even do anything. She didn't even do anything to impact him whatsoever. So I'm like, I don't know why you're going, oh, it's because of her. I am the man I always wanted to be. She didn't do anything. She just existed. That's all and then, yeah, he's I love you. And I know you love Eric. You don't have to love me back. Fucking hell, I don't care. I do not care. So then they come to an edge and it's like it's a waterfall. So it's obvious, oh, you've got to jump off the waterfall to gain access into this city. It's very obvious straight away. It's like you already know that there was already a test in place to walk across it. So clearly there's going to be a test to, jump off it. It's obvious. It's obvious that's what they got to do. But Borman's like, what are we going to do now? We're going to die. We got no food. We got to turn back. Willow's like, I'm turning back. I've got to get back for my daughter, even though she sent me off on this adventure. It's like, well, all the time you got to waste getting back. I don't know why you're going to bother. So Allura's like, why do I have to be Allura Dannon? I wish I was Allura Dannon. And then Kit talks her up and says, he's like, I'm just a farmer who got lucky. But, everybody, they're amazing. She's like, I don't want to be Allura Dannon. I just want to, I don't know. I thought you wanted to rescue Eric. Now you're like, fuck that. I don't want to do that anymore. So Kit says, oh, I believe in you. I believe in you. And then they jump off the waterfall. They jump off. They die. That was the only fun part. Now, unfortunately, they like fell all this way, and it's like, yeah, you're dead. You're dead. I don't know why people still seem to think that if you fall from a big height into water, that's like hitting fucking stone. That's what that's like. You would just splatter. You would be dead from that. They jump about the size of, an average skyscraper, and hit the water. It's like, yeah, that would be some impact to hit. But I don't know. I guess magic bullshit. I guess that's all you can go with. So then they come out and they're at the city. So they walk off down into the city, have a look about. They go straight up to the door. And then Eric comes out dressed like he's got a new haircut. You know, I guess the crone has a local barber's in there. So he's got his haircut and he's all dressed in black. So he's now working for the crone. I don't even know why he threw in with the crone. It's like, you know, I don't know for what reason. I don't know, but I guess he's now joined the crone. So we're going to find out all about that in episode 8. Again, a lot of this is because the whole, you know, idiot gang just wasted time. The amount of delays in this series is just astounding. So he's now working for the crone, which I can only guess. I can still only guess at this point that the crone is that girl. Is that girl that turned up in the cell. You know, I guess that's what it is. But that's episode 7. We've only got 1 to go. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just getting this done and out the way. Then we're on to more stuff. More stuff, which is probably going to be fucking garbage. We shall see. But that gets episode 7 out of the way. This episode has just completely tired me out. I want to go to fucking bed now. And it's only 25 to 5. But yeah, that's episode 7. But yeah, just a complete waste of an episode. Just a waste of time with just a waste of, you know, not doing anything. I can't believe that at the start of the episode you have Willow specifically say, we have to walk across it, that's the test. Yet they go on a sleigh. And I'm pretty sure they go the wrong way. I'm pretty sure they go that way rather than straight out. And then, yeah, then at the very end of the episode, you're like, oh, we have to walk across it because Willow said that was the test. Yeah, you've had that information for ages. You wasted all this time traveling by sleigh, so I can only imagine if you kept traveling by sleigh, you would never get there. It would never appear. So you waited to the very end just because you wanted to... Again, I don't know if it just comes down to we need the minutes watched. That's what we need to make our ratings look better than they actually are. I don't know if that's what they go for. But you don't... You know, with this series so far, you don't need a 55-minute episode. About 35, 40 at the most will do you. But 55 minutes, you're taking the piss. You're running out of things to do. It's very obvious. So, yeah, that would be... You know, I imagine we're probably going to get like a really short episode. I wouldn't be surprised. But the past 2 episodes have now been almost an hour long. And it fucking takes ages to get through them. But I suppose I'll finish off there. And until next week with episode 8... we finally get to finish what has been a very terrible series.